Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is the second full session, the third meeting for Last Imperial Fleet. This is a it's the Last Fleet by Black Armada. This game that is pretty brilliant. It is kind of the Battlestar Galactica game, but it's not officially licensed, but it's definitely got that vibe. And I've retextured it, recolored it for the idea of an Imperial, a Star Wars Imperial fleet taking off out of Coruscant like a bat out of hell after the Emperor is blowed up on Death Star 2, and he's dead. Vader's dead. They're all dead. They're not coming back. Don't worry about it. I mean, he fell down a giant hole, and then the thing he was in was exploded. So there's no way that the Emperor is coming back. And that faith was broken with the Imperial fleet. And this fleet is led by a Secutor class Star Destroyer known as Pandora's Grasp. And the fleet itself is under the command of the XO or the CO, Admiral Elaine Price. There are factions aplenty, as well as some civvy and military struggles. It's a big old tangled mess. And in last session, the fleet was attacked by some rebel ships, and things didn't go incredibly well. Some members of the fleet passed on, and then some rebels were captured because they surrendered and were murdered in cold blood, violating several. I don't know. Do the Imperials actually have laws? I don't know. Do they have regs against that? Who knows? Who knows? But they were shotified in the heads a lot, and also there was a bit of a betrayal. I mean, you call betrayal, some people call like reporting the truth, because that betrayal wasn't a lie. So a lot of things happened in our opening session. It was bombastic, and it was pretty fun. Now, per all games that I run as part of Star Wars Saturdays, this game has safety tools. We have lines against certain actions, veils against other actions, and ask first for the last. That's all marked up in our character keeper. We also have on top of that the X card, which can be played at any time that you feel uncomfortable. Please X card. This is a thing where we have lines, veils, ask first there to try to set our palette, but we may run into something that makes you a person, an individual who's way more important than the fiction we're telling, become uncomfortable. So I strongly encourage you to utilize the X card. If you do, I'll pause the recording. We'll have a quick conversation, try to figure out what's up. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to tell us why. I'm not going to attack. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it, but I may ask a question about what it was that was X-carded if it's not clear to me, and then we'll excise it from our play. We also have open door, so any player can leave the game for any length of time they need, return as you're able. No explanations, apologies. Courtesy also extends to me. I had to open door out of last week, and I appreciate everybody being cool with it. So with all of that out of the way, let's do just because it's been 2 weeks, let's go around the horn and have folks introduce themselves and remind us a bit about their character. I want to start with the left-hand side of the character keeper because I like picking on Steven. If you could go first, introduce yourself, tell us about your character.
Hi, my name's Steven. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'm playing Lieutenant Latakana, whose call sign is Revenge, or Rev for short, and her pronouns are she, her. Rev is a hotshot pilot who, as a youngster, was raised on the moon of Endor and, trained a little bit and helped teach the Force troopers how to ride their speeder bikes very fast, because it was something she'd been doing since she was a wee toddler. Her family had actually crash landed there, and they'd started a village, and they were all living in harmony. And then the terrorist rebels blew up the Imperial space station and destroyed her home, her home and everything with it. She happened to be off planet or off moon while she was taking her exams in order to join the Imperial fleet. And when everything got bad, she's nurturing a deep, cold fire of hatred towards those terrorists who destroyed everything.
Oh my. Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it. Next up would be Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Tagashiya, who uses she, her. Tagashiya is a Chiss Imperial assassin. She has a lot of hollow cybernetic attachments, and she has no official rank, so she's a recruit. She was employed by Odak Tetsu, the Rhodian captain of the Star Galleon, to kill Marwyn's grandmother, who is now being reconstituted in a cloning vat. Let's see. I know I did cover for Jaina at one point in the past, but have since now turned them in. Let's see. Oh, Marwyn does occasionally need my assassin services, and Leda and I we tore up a cantina, a once upon a time not so good speakeasy, right?
All right. Cool. Thank you very much, Greg. Appreciate it. Trouble Tagashiya. Oh, by the way, you may want to tweak the audio. Came in still a little crackly when you were introduced.
Oh boy. Okay, let me try that.
Okay, cool. Next up is Jex.
Hi, Jex Thomas. I use they, them pronouns, and I am playing Jaina Madar, who uses she or they pronouns. And Jaina is an agent with the Imperial Security Bureau. If I remember correctly, I think I said that she specializes in kind of like propaganda, not brainwashing necessarily, but on that spectrum for sure. And she is the Scorpio playbook, a secret manipulator whose moves are in doubt, including by themselves. So she's kind of the Gaius Baltar figure here. She knows that Commandant Okma has some doubts about me, suspects I'm up to something. So I started a romantic relationship with her, as you do. Tagashiya was covering for me, told a lie for me, but seems like that's a thing of the past. And I found a legal loophole to get Marwyn out of trouble when Marwyn was on trial for Moff Ganzen's death. And Rev trusts me, trusts most Imperials implicitly, and that helps me influence her, kind of take advantage of her naivete and innocence.
So callous, so cruel. Cool. Thank you very much, Jex. And last but certainly not least, Sawyer.
Hello, I'm Sawyer. I use any pronouns, and I am playing Marwyn Ganzen, who uses he, him. Marwyn is the clone non-Parel and has been able to keep all his memories, no matter how many times he is cloned, through some kind of force wonkery, I believe is the technical term. And he is, last time he saw a vision of Jaina setting us up the bomb and tried to prevent it from going off. And when he got there, he has no idea she got there first and removed it. But he knows that he saw something in his vision, something went wrong, and his visions have never been wrong before. Though he did hold a gun to her earlier in front of cameras, and that may come to bite him in the ass when he gets back. And I believe he had I think it was Tagashiya had a talk with Obak, not Marwyn yet.
Yes, that is correct. So do we have any start of session moves?
I do.
Okay. I believe it is. I have seen it. Yes.
I believe so.
Once per session when things are quiet. Roll plus hard.
That is a 9.
On a 7 to 9 choose. Yeah, you hold one vision. You may spend one vision to declare you've recognized the scene from a vision and tell someone what to do. If they do it, take +1 forward and you mark XP. You can describe or highlight a challenging risk or opportunity. If the fleet avoids the risk and seizes the opportunity, increase the momentum by 1. On a 7 to 9, the visions are troubling. Hold one vision but mark pressure, or you have a respite from your visions. Erase one pressure. What would you like to choose?
I think I'm really worried about what happened last time I had a vision. So I'm going to have a respite and erase one pressure.
That's a good call. Okay, cool. And yeah, you think you're still dealing with the sleeper
I
agent
mean,
move?
yeah. So my start of the session move says if I'm not currently dealing with the fallout from the last time I did it, then I roll it. And I kind of think I still am. I don't know what others think. I mean, I'd prefer to roll the move, but I want to be true to the fiction.
Well, the sleeper agent thing was the bomb, and the bomb you pulled it. So I feel like that mission has been dealt with. It was a failure technically, but you were able to avoid detection and remain a sleeper agent, at least vis-a-vis that. So it feels like it's
Yeah. Okay.
that's done. So
That's fair. Yeah, maybe I'm defining it too broadly, in which case I probably will never get to roll this move again because I'm
you can
never
divide
not
it.
going to be dealing with this stuff. All
we,
right.
we
so
would hope that your sleeper agents are having impacts. So
yeah,
everybody's dealing with those things. So I think you're not dealing directly with that specific
Yeah.
thing. Let's have you roll it.
cool. So yeah, I've set something up to damage the fleet, and I'm going to roll plus sharp. My sharp is 0, so this will be a straight 2d6.
Flat rolls are the thing in Last Fleet. They're cool. Everybody's doing it.
That's a
Oh
10.
my goodness. On a
So-
10 plus, choose 2.
Yeah. I am going to I'm going to discover warning signs before my actions have their full effect. And there won't be widespread consequences. I think I'm not Jane is not feeling great about what happened earlier. And so I'm not exactly sure what this looks like in terms of the warning signs. I don't know, maybe there's just another bomb somewhere. And yeah, I don't know, because it's still unclear to me how like in the know she is about any of this stuff happening. Like, does she kind of black out and then find out about it later, which is kind of how I've been thinking about it.
Okay. You think she blacks out and finds.
Yeah, I think she just like, she wakes up, in bed or whatever, like on her cot, and then it's she doesn't have memory of doing this stuff most of the time. I think sometimes she does. So maybe what it is here is yeah, like her sort of like this flash of memory. Since this is the next episode, maybe we get a brief flashback of some of the stuff of dealing with that first bomb, and then like a flash of memory of like, oh no, there's another one. And trying to figure out how to deal with that.
And we did. So I don't want to reuse too much stuff that was almost an off screen, but one of the impacts of a move near the end is that one of the, as of our game hadn't been defined, civvy ships had blown up. You don't want it to be that, right? It's something new. Is what you think?
I mean, I wonder if look at the fleet real quick, because the ship that the other bomb was on was, I forget which one.
The ship that what? I'm sorry. I'll look at the fleet.
Sorry, the ship that from last time that the bomb was on. I don't recall which one.
That was on the Star Galleon.
Okay, that was on the Star Galleon. Okay.
Right, because it was supposed to be on the Star Galleon because that's where
That's right. Yeah.
Viceroy's Council was, and
so maybe I'm thinking that maybe I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe it's not even like a normal bomb, but it's some kind of like when it goes off, it puts like sleeper gas or something into the vents of I think of Pandora's Grasp. I think this was like this was going to be like the big hurrah maybe. And I have this like flash of memory of like, oh, okay, I need to go deal with this.
cool.
And I'm okay with figuring out what going and dealing with it looks like in, later.
Poor Jake. So like does these things and then realizes she's done them and tries to undo them. That's wild. Okay, cool. Thanks. I have a bit of a frame there. Hopefully enough for us to go on. That's interesting. Let's pick up with now again, reminding everyone that we do have the wish of more like PC to PC interactions, especially for Tagashia, who didn't really get to interact with anybody. So let's start with Rev. Rev, I think you had a hell of a fight. You fought well. You took out some Rebs. You helped protect a ship. So do we begin with you getting accommodation?
So I think so. I think the way that this looks is Rev, is asked to report back to her superiors. And she's really nervous because she destroyed one of the hunters as she pushed the shuttle into the other ship. And she's like, I'm going to get reprimanded. And whenever she came in, she's surprised because her superior, who would her superior be?
I think her superior would probably be the CAG, right? Lieutenant
yeah.
Commander Therese Carroll.
Yeah, Therese Carroll. So Therese, Lieutenant Commander says, we're going to give you an award for heroic actions during battle, and it's going to be a big ceremony and all that kind of thing. And then I think we real quickly, and we see this look of shock on Rev's face. And then we see this, whole to-do. And it's not just Rev, it's other members who fought off the rebels during the attack. And they're like, we only lost one ship. It would have been much greater if it wasn't for the heroic actions of the rest of this crew. And is there anything else you wanted to do during the award ceremony?
I think during the award ceremony we see there are a number of like this is a presentation. This is a thing where Carol has Lieutenant Commander Teresa Carroll has formed up. There are a bunch of the pilots from your not fleet, but like your TIE fighter, experimental TIE fighter group. All those pilots are lined up. A lot of the cadets have been brought in. So Tagashia, we see you walking in and maybe you're like standing, you're in your cadet dress and you're standing by Glory. And
can we say this is actually like in the hangar, like you see, at the beginning of Jedi, but instead of there being a shuttle that's landed, there's like a stage there.
Yeah, so we have the like force screen. You can see out into space. It's this cavernous space opera appearance. And if Marwin is like near and watching, that's totally cool and kind of interesting as well. But Teresa Carroll is extolling the virtues of Rev, how she escorted, and there's like this little replay of a holo of Rev's maneuver of nudging a shuttle to save it onto the Star Galleon, and then they show the rebels attacking and boarding the ship and how Rev helped to repel it, although there's no footage of exactly what Rev did after they surrendered. it all is on the up and up. Like, it's heroic. There's a bit of music in the background, and because of the movie Solo, we know that the Imperial March exists within Star Wars canon within the world. Like, there's some canon puncturing going on there because they played a Imperial recruitment commercial on Corellia, which I think is amazing that the music's so good it crosses over into their world. So we have some like triumphant symphonic music, and then the lieutenant commander, she like looks over and there's this protocol droid that's not silver, it's like one of those jet black style protocol droids, and it comes forward with this like actual hand fashioned little box, and opens up the box, and it's this rectangular thing, opens up the box, and Rev, you're standing there, they've got a little walk up on a dais so everybody can see you, so you're above all the others, and you see in it, I'm going the full Monty. I'm gonna go ahead and screen share so you can see it because I think it's kind of dope. You see in that box is this, and you immediately recognize it. This is the medal of the Emperor's Fist. It is huge. It's an Imperial medal awarded, as Carol says, an Imperial medal awarded for distinguished services to the Emperor in strengthening and maintaining galactic peace, as we are the last Imperial fleet, making sure that the safety of our people is paramount. And therefore, I award this to you, Lieutenant Leda Kana. And then she unclasps it, and she reaches up and places it around your neck, and people, they break out into applause. And it's stilted for a moment, but then like a lot of the TIE pilots, they're 100% on behind you, or at least, you guys are a team, so no one's going to disrespect a member of the team. So they're much louder, and the cadets will pick up. How is Tagashia reacting to this?
I think if Tagashia and Rev have a moment later after the ceremony, she'll look, maybe like kind of like the cross arms, you come through the door with your Emperor's Fist thing on. Hey, tugboat captain.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Some fancy space tugging you did there.
Well, it was just what was necessary. Nothing any of the rest of the crew wouldn't have done in my place. If they could have. Yeah.
She'll just kind of point at it. So how much synthahol do you think that's going to get you at the speakeasy?
I don't know. I think this would be some pretty good hooch. I think I can get some real stuff.
Ooh.
So we'll see. Why? You trying to horn in on some of it?
I don't know. Big hero tugboat captain.
And I think she kind of, trots off to kind of talk to the other people around who are kind of gathered around. Was there anything else you wanted, Tagashia?
No, I just wanted to tease you about it.
Okay. So I have a slightly, I have an additional scene. After all of this, I think at some point there's some downtime and I'm back in my bunk. When we go back and, the camera again zooms in on, this, I think this blonde girl who's like digging at a tree in the sap and all that kind of stuff. And then it zooms out. It's kind of an accelerated version of that same video that we saw at the beginning of last session. And, the destruction And I think we actually probably see a tear from Rev, and it kind of courses down. And if you don't mind, I'd like for Takashia to come in and interrupt this.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
And this is, I think she's actually saying out loud, how many of them do I have to kill to set it, in order to appease the spirits of the dead, something like that.
Dang.
So yeah, Tagashio is kind of, she watches you. It's your sister on
Yeah,
Endor.
yeah.
Oh, Rev, I didn't know.
Well, some do. I'm not hiding it or anything, but yeah. The terrorists took everything from me, and it's one of the reasons I'm so motivated. And
Were you on Endor?
well, not at that time. I know that there's many in the fleet who, were decimated during that battle. But I was actually, taking exams with the fleet whenever Endor was struck. Otherwise, I'd be gone too with the rest of my family. Yeah. But surely, you've seen your number of casualties. I mean, you've been with the Imperials for a while, and you've seen a lot of action. You can tell.
Yeah, I was in that was in the barracks just a couple of days ago when that blast took out 4 people in the hallway. And Tagashi will reach over and like touch the little hollow disc with her hollow hand. And they kind of
Nice.
like they mesh for a little bit. And then there's like a bubble above the tree as like shards bounce off of it.
Ooh.
Are we
I
hitting a
think-
move here? Or is
Yeah,
this
I think, are either of you reaching out to the other?
I think
Reach
this
out.
is
When
reaching
you
out.
reach out to someone
I
who
feel like
matters to
reaching
you.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I guess we're both reaching out.
So I think I shared a failure or regret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to let that one go off? Maybe I can mix my
Yeah.
bit back into the rest of it. Yeah.
Does Tagashia respond positively? It feels like it, but I just want to make sure that
Yeah,
there's no
for
tension.
sure.
All right, roll plus warm, Rev.
Okay. See, my warm is a 0.
Mm.
And I rolled a 6. And
Oh.
I think I'm going to spend pressure.
I don't think you
It
can
is a
on those.
cardinal
Oh, that's
move.
right. That's right. Okay, so 6.
Dang. Sweet. I think this is a lot. Just opening up like this, Rev, and I
Yeah.
think it should make you feel better, but it has the opposite effect. And I'm going to ask you to raise your pressure by 1.
Yeah.
Mark pressure. You tried to reach out, but it just didn't work. Now, I think
and I think
Tagashia.
that-
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think the reaction is you reach out, and if I'm not mistaken, Takashia actually kind of altered the image a little bit. So there was a bubble that prevented some of the shards.
Right.
And I think so. Rev kind of sees that, her eyes get really big, and then she kind of jerks it away. She's like, you can't change things. This is mine.
And Tagashi will just kind of pull her hand back and just shakes her head and and walks out.
Oh, you're not going to reach out back? Just letting that one.
Oh, that is tempting.
It is tempting, but you don't have to.
Oh, okay. I'm going to share significant hope.
Ooh.
And just goes, to answer your question, Rev, it's all of them. It's all of them. And we're going to do it together.
Yeah, and I think Rev, looks back up and she's, she kind of wipes that tear away and kind of looks back up and kind of, I think she actually forms a fist and like does a little fist bump kind of thing or elbow bump with you and says, for all of them, let's do it.
And I'm going to roll +4, which is also a 0.
Oh my.
That's a 4. So that's 2 hard moves.
Oh man, I don't think that's a double. I don't think that's a double same thing there. That's gonna be
We take an
bad
XP
thing.
for rolling that, right?
Yeah, it is a cardinal
Okay.
boost. You get XP for just for rolling it, friends. I am yeah. I think everything that, like, there's still a party going on. I think it's one of those where, Rev, you begged out of it and ended up going back to your bunk. You don't have privacy, right, Rev? You don't have your own quarters. You've got bunks that you share with a bunch of the other members of your.
Yeah, and I think that's why Togashiya was there. I think she was coming through like the corridor where all those bunks are.
Nice. And I think here's my move. It's a little more for the audience than for the two of you, but I think you guys share this moment, and while it's a little clumsy, it's a little awkward, neither of you gain the perspective that a regular person would, just perhaps due to being part of the Empire. But we see Lieutenant Havina Von Reg is observing all of this. And she sneers a bit at this prattle, and then she turns and heads out. She's going to report you. So let's cut away from.
I do want to bring up, I have
Yes.
a breaking point that we can get to later.
Oh, delightful.
Yeah.
That's true. That pushed you to breaking point. Oh, wait, the stim to the eyeballs don't count because you're not going after a particular mission, right?
I think that's right. I think it was, whenever I go out flying, I will, stim up. However, after it's done, I think you drop back down to your regular 5. So I think a breaking point is appropriate here.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to check in because of the extra 2.
And just to let you know, whenever you go to fit it in, I'll probably abandon my duties and immerse myself in vices. Probably more stims. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that note. You do both increase your relationships by 1, which is pretty powerful for future. So you do get something out of it. Let's cut to Marwin Ganzen. Did you have a scene in mind? If not, I've got an idea for a thing.
I did have one in mind that would bring Togashiya back into things because I needed to talk about some assassinating things.
Oh, fun. Yeah, let's have that. Where is it that Marwin would summon Togashiya to meet?
Well, I don't think he summons her. I mean, he's partying with the other. He's just one of the guys. Though I think one of the guys was following Togashiya and was waiting for outside the bunks of these pilots.
Oh, so you see Lieutenant Von Reg come out and she glances you, inclines her head, doesn't salute, right? You don't hold rank. So she just inclines her head and then moves on. And then Tagashia comes out because you've been waiting for her.
And I think he has like 2 drinks in hand. Ah, just the person I was looking to see. No, don't be so formal. It's a party after all. I'm surprised you weren't given such glowing recommendations. I heard you did wonders on the guns.
I did my duty, Lieutenant.
You did more than your duty. I mean, let me find that NPC you saved. Because I would know her myself.
Glory, I
You,
believe.
you
Yeah.
saved Gillis. How? I mean, with everything going on, with all those people sucked into space, you managed to save Gillis, and that is, you will have my gratitude. And I think he like does like a shallow bow in front of her.
I'm curious if this actually might hit compromised,
Ooh, interesting.
because I could have saved more people than Gillis, but I didn't. I'm not sure that counts as part of my cover up for killing Marwin's grandmother, though. So
Get you into some serious poo to agree with. Cover stories and librarian or cover stories.
no, I don't, yeah, okay, never mind. I don't think it hits it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm getting interrogated about that quite yet. Okay. Actually, I will take the drink.
Speaking of serving the Empire, you know of my visions, correct? My history with the cloning vats.
Tagashia probably becomes noticeably uncomfortable. Yes, Lieutenant.
Well, then you should know they've never been wrong. And I know of your talents, recruit. And he lays the recruit on heavy. If
Tagashia will start looking up and down the hallway.
yeah. If I may, I think we should retire to talk about your grand gestures towards the Imperial fleet and how they may be improved upon in the future. Somewhere private.
Understood. Where and when?
And I think he just like looks at like one of the like some like side rooms. Like, now is fine. There.
Very well.
Yeah. And once they get alone, he sits in the drink. Oh, Kark, how I hate mincing words. But we shouldn't be heard here. Jaina, I don't trust her.
You shouldn't.
Good. At least you're honest in some regards. But I would have you watch her, report back to me about her, or if you find her doing something against the fleet, well, I know what actions you can take.
Lieutenant Garwin, have you spoken to what's the to Commander Obakbander?
The first or the second?
The second.
No, my friend and I haven't had the chance to meet yet. Not since the incident.
You should know that I have reported Jaina for releasing a rebel spy.
I was right. My vision had. Yeah, I think he's like beginning to start like talking, not like just cut sentence
Tagashia
nonsenses.
moves herself between you and the door. You had a vision about Jaina releasing a rebel spy.
No, setting up an explosive on the ship that was attacked.
Interesting.
I also had a vision of her leading the entire fleet. Something I believe shouldn't come to pass now.
I will do my best, Lieutenant Ganson. Dang it.
And I think I think he then like he then actually does bow before you honestly. Thank you, Takashi. I know my grandmother always trusted in your, well, restraint and skill. I know she trusted you. I trust you like my grandmother did. And I think I'm reaching out by sharing some
Oh, no.
feelings.
Twisting the
Oh,
knife
no.
and reaching out at the same time. Brilliant.
And this will be a flat roll because all the cool kids are doing it.
Okay.
Unless you don't respond positively. That's also
I'm just trying to figure out if I can interfere with you trying to help and support me. What that might look like. Oh,
I think I don't get to roll unless you respond positively. I don't know if you would
If you don't,
respond
yeah,
positively.
you can
to that.
absolutely just not
Oh,
respond
okay.
very positively and then
oh, okay.
foil that attempt.
Well, so what was the exact words?
My grandmother always trusted in your restraint and talents. That if she trusts you, I trust you.
I mean, there's a lot of cold things I could say. I think Tagashia doesn't even acknowledge it. She just closes the door.
Ooh, that's
pretty good.
has to be like a salute, and like at the door closing. Yeah.
I like it. That's good. Let's pick up a scene with Jaina Madar. With Jaina Madar. So I kind of like the idea of Jaina perhaps in a scene with our lovely Compnor Commandant Akma.
Yeah, I
So-
was thinking the same thing.
Perfect. Do you think it's at Jaina's quarters? Do you think you're visiting Okma in her nice quarters?
Yeah, I mean that's. I guess I don't know. I mean, I feel like both either would be fairly discreet, right? I mean, we're
Mhm.
both, officers. We're both kind of higher rank. I don't know. Which is more interesting? Which feels more dangerous?
Well, to me, like I'm curious what Jaina Madar's quarters look
Okay.
like, and I think we learn a bit about her. That
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I think that they are exceedingly neat, right? Like everything is placed just so. And I think, the sort of gaze of the camera kind of lingers on some of that. And the feeling is sort of a question of whether it's that she's, maybe trying to find some control in that,
Mhm.
or is it a show, right? Or maybe both. But it kind of has that, like, it's too neat. Like, I think that most people coming into this room would actually feel uncomfortable because it's like a one of those like IKEA display rooms or something, right? It's just too perfect. And I think even down to the imperfections, even the imperfections sort of look staged in a way. And I almost wonder if we get sort of a shot of like Jaina kind of, putting her hand to the sensor to open the door, and her hand's like shaking a little bit, and she like looks back, and then there's Okma behind her, following her into her quarters.
And Okma, of course, has the perfect during her times of elocution, when as an officer of Compnor, she addresses the fleet. She has the perfect crisp Imperial accent. But when she enters your quarters and the door slides closed, I can't believe they gave that damned medal to that Karkin Chiss.
I didn't get a medal.
I can't believe they gave that medal to that Karkin and Daright. I heard that one, did stuff with Ewoks and all.
That may be, but she also did save my life. So
Oh.
And I think you can tell Jane is kind of embarrassed here. Not because Rev saved her life, but because that was preceded by this very public meltdown that she's very ashamed about having happened.
Yeah. Listen, I'm already working on that angle. And she walks away from you and comes over, and there's a small shelf where a couple of the, I don't know, like if you've got awards or mementos or anything, and her back's to you, and she just reaches up, and you see she pulls off the gloves, and she takes one of your awards and just slightly moves it askew.
Yeah, I think that Jaina's like immediately behind her and puts her hand on her hand and just kind of slightly moves it back. And there's definitely like sexual tension in that.
Yes, that I felt it just from the description. Jaina, you stand on the precipice of some real trouble. There are a lot of people who are starting to whisper that you can't handle the pressure.
I do regret some words and actions from yesterday. I don't know what came over me, but I am quite confident that my deeds will show everyone who I really am.
Buddha, honey, we don't need anyone to see who you really are. We need to make sure that you put the best foot forward.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, as long as there isn't any miscommunication here. Jaina, just so we're clear, where do you want to go with this?
With this? Is this?
Yeah.
We're having this conversation now? I don't know. Maybe I turn that question back on you. Where do you want to go with this?
Well, I'm having fun, but I also know secrets don't stay secret for long. So we're both putting a lot at risk.
I won't let that happen. You mean a lot to me. And I would never let anything happen to you. And if protecting this is the way to protect you, then I will do it. And I am reaching out, sharing my feelings.
Nice.
And because of who I am, I get to roll plus smooth instead of plus warm.
Well, that's
Um,
lovely. She is very positively inclined towards this outpouring
Okay.
of affection. So you
Um,
should go ahead and roll that.
so I get to roll +1, and that's a 5. And I can't increase that. So that's a
Oh,
5.
for NPCs, roll first on a hit they respond. So sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we pause on the roll and oh, that's not good. Yeah. I think
Really hoping for a hit there.
yeah.
Because I get a
was
special,
too.
I get an extra thing if I hit. So
Too bad. too bad. She looks at it and she says, Jaina, you had best hope that you keep this secret because I enjoy what we have, but I have worked too hard and too long for you to put my position at risk. The Empire needs me just a wee bit more than they need you, at least right now. Now, you're aware that there are people who are moving against you.
her silence answers that question in the affirmative.
Wow. Jaina, if you ever move against me, if you ever make this public, you'll be destroyed for it. I would rather you kill me than shame me. Do you understand?
Neither of those will happen.
Good. And she reaches up and she moves that word just slightly askew. It looks better that way. Leave it. And she's going to turn and walk out, putting her gloves back on. And I want you to go ahead and mark a pressure because you
All
failed.
right. And I do take an advance here as well.
Lovely.
If it's okay, I think that after that happens, Jaina is just sort of standing there for a moment, composes herself and walks over to the bed, which I think is a little bit more than just a glorified cot or whatever, and pulls out like from underneath it a lockbox and opens it up and is looking through files and pulls out the one on Kopnor Okma. Yeah, and I think I'm going to take alien affinity. So in the future, when I get close enough to the enemy that I could reach out and touch them, I get to say what I feel and get to choose some cool options. So.
Neat. I like it. That's good. All right. Marwan, after your meeting and giving out an assignment to Gashia, where would Marwan go on Pandora's
Well,
Grass?
he was told to talk to Obok Vandar II. He has to go and see what his friend has brewing.
Perfect. I think you come into Marwan, you come into Obok Vandar II, the younger, into his quarters, and I'm imagining, I don't know if you guys remember the brief scene in the sequels at that point where Kylo Ren was on a ship and like everything in that one room was white, like all the furniture, everything was that crazy 70s sci-fi stark white that it's just, it's so white, but it's this plasticky kind of shine to it as well. I'm imagining if that's the room that Vandar is in, and there's this full length, like instead of a full length mirror is a full length screen that is shielded but looks out into space, and he's there with his hands clasped behind his back in full dress uniform, and we see like the shadow of Marwan as you enter. Marwan, oh boy, glad you came to see me. He turns, reaches up and puts a hand on your shoulder, and it's like, you know, friendly. It's like he thinks you guys are old friends. Maybe you don't reciprocate, but he says, something fell into my lap, and I've been considering how best to utilize it. I could use your counsel. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about, Marwan? It's very rude of me to
Just what
straight.
you wanted to talk about, of course. I believe it's the same thing that interested me.
Well, it's been reported to me that a particular member of the ISB has betrayed the order, has not just failed in their duty, but worked to accomplish Emperor of the Rebellion. And I see this as an amazingly powerful gift.
I'd only believe that if it was Jaina Madar you're talking about.
Is it getting out everywhere? It's going to lose its value. The more people who know.
Oh, no, it's not getting out. You just the visions, you know.
Of course. He reaches up and he touches your temple like you invited it, but he touches, he like reaches down, he caresses your cheek, steps back. Do you remember that time that you let me push you off of the catwalk? You want to know what it would feel like to fly for just a moment?
Yes, I do. How did I hope I landed well enough, didn't I? I don't remember much after the landing.
Truth be told, you were in a great deal of pain and you may have pulled through, but I decided it would be best to have a fresh version of you. So I had to dispose of you. It was very unpleasant. That's what I do for friends.
It was what was required. I understand. You always do what's required, don't you? And I think this is when he puts his hand on Obok's shoulder. But we should keep this about Jaina between us before it's utilized most properly.
Yes. So, yes, I agree, Marwan. Now, the question is, Jaina now is ours to toy with. Because if the secret gets out, she will be executed. And that seems not at all useful for us. Yes, a waste. So is it better to use her as a direct agent or to deploy her indiscretion as a way to trade up, as it were? Allow someone to give something to us in exchange for that truth.
Oh, she has so many records on what people's minds have been wiped about. I'm sure there has to be something interesting in there that would further the cause of the enkindlers of you.
Yes. Of either of us, of course. Because I was thinking that Lieutenant Commander Shobis might want to keep an ISB indiscretion quiet, since it would fall to her feet. It happened under her watch, as it were, or lack of watch.
Yeah,
I hate
Marvin will
Shobis.
Is there anyone you want displaced? I mean, if this came out and it was under her watch, I mean, that couldn't look well on her, could it?
No, we could ruin her with this. No, of course, that means that Jaina's life is immediately forfeit, because that would be the first move that Shobus takes. So boring and predictable.
And I think Marvin will sit on Obok's bed, like start taking off his own gloves and looking at whatever we do. It must be a good strike. I've had visions of Jaina at the head of the fleet. I don't know when. I don't know how soon. I just know I don't like it. If anyone should be at the head of this fleet, it should be you. Don't you agree? And I think I may actually be reaching out to him
Ooh,
by
interesting.
divulging some secrets of mine of that vision of Jaina. So let me check to make sure that's on the move tab if I need to. Yeah, that's a fear. That is a significant fear of mine, that she will become like a head somewhere and be able to really fuck up the fleet.
I like it. Go ahead and roll, and then we'll see how he reacts, and do mark that XP.
Yeah, and if this is going to be like any of the others, it's going to be a wonderful fail. Yep, there we go. That's a 2.
Oh, so good. So good.
Man, no one can reach out today.
This is hard. Okay. Marwan, ruining Shobus would bring me a great deal of delight. Perhaps if Jaina is our pawn and Shobus is brought down for some other reason, she could rise through, and then we would have control of the ISB. But I have to admit that I am very tempted to turn in this chit, as it were, because I believe Shobus knows where Price is taking us. Does that ever bother you? Our great admiral has never officially divulged our mission.
It does, now that you mention it.
If you've had a vision about Price.
No, I have not. And usually I have visions of everyone who's important.
She is very important. You don't think she could block your visions, do you?
It's something I may want to look into.
We must choose our general direction. Do we pull Jaina to our ranks, use her as a pawn with the threat of what she's done and the knowledge of it? Do we turn her over so that Shobus does what we want? What is your counsel, my friend?
I think, I think if you trust me to find a way to get Chobus out of the equation, I can. Though, I must admit, I do like the idea of Jaina as a pawn of our. Maybe this is why I saw her so high up in the fleet, if she is to be our pawn. A shadow puppet, a fake vizier, so to speak. Someone for us to whisper needs into while focusing as a shield for our interests. Your interests, of course.
I'll leave it to you to let Jaina know what we know. Yes?
Understood. But before that, the party has been such an interesting time, and I feel like I must unwind. Is it possible to stay a while? And I think try and try my luck with another move. I think I'm
You're
trying
gonna
to
let loose? Yeah, let's see how this goes.
Oh, well, it can't go it can go exactly as worse as bad as it did last time. It cannot go any worse. Yep, that is a 4.
Holy crap. Oh, that's awesome. Here we go. So I think he sits down on the bed beside you, right? Because I remember you sat on the bed and he reaches past you to pull the covers down and he says, just remember, Marwyn, if anyone finds out about our discretion, I'll have to kill you, and there's no one to replace you. I don't want to lose you, my friend. Not again. And with that, he's going to shove you to the bed, and it's not going to be super pleasant. You will need to mark pressure because this letting loose is not as fun as you'd hoped.
Oh dear.
Is that okay? Just
That's
checking.
fine.
Is that cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go ahead and take our first bio break, or our mid-game bio break. All right, we're back. And after failing to relieve her pressure by reaching out, Lieutenant Ladakana has reached a breaking point, and you said you wanted to abandon your duties, immersing yourself in your vices, personal priorities, whatever helps you to forget the pressure you're under, and that was getting stemmed again. So what is it that we see from Rev?
So remind me, didn't we mess up the cantina or the little speakeasy that was there before? And how did we do that?
That was Teg and Rev doing a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we damaged the still in a fight, I believe. I believe there was a Sabak game that got out of hand.
So I think it's something very similar. I think that in this case, Rev had kind of been staying away from the party that was going on and had spoken to Kashia, and then it just wasn't cutting it. So I think she takes a dose and heads to the party. And during that, again, I think the party started out as a celebration, and then as it progressed, it became more like a frantic rave. And then eventually, whenever Rev shows up, it's more like a mosh pit. And they're like, throwing punches and, pushing each other around and down on the ground and just, getting a little bit more violent than celebratory.
Nasty. Cool. So the kind of stuff that wouldn't go well, like there's no decorum here. You guys are all officers. You're not acting appropriately, and you're just throwing all that away on the eve of receiving one of the highest honors in the fleet. That is
I think that's
terrible.
actually how it starts is, someone mouths off and says, "Oh, you're a big thing now because you just got, a big award," and Rev just clocks him, right? And they kind of
that's
go
got
back
to
and
be
forth.
that's got to be Lieutenant Ramnan, the blonde douchey guy in the naval defense on row 9.
Yeah.
Look at that face. That's a punchable face, and he totally. Yeah, you think you're important now? Oh, what kind of strings did you pull? Blah blah blah. The
And I think afterward, we see the results and we see he's got a big busted lip. And I think Rev has a big black eye. So, I mean, I think there's after effects from this. No broken bones, or no one actually has to go to the infirmary, but like everyone has bruises and bumps and stuff like that.
Dice. Is it a thing where I mean, this is a breaking point, right? So I think the CAG is blessing you out type deal. Like she's pulled you and a few of the others in and is dressing you guys down. Does that feel right?
Yeah, I think that those of us who can't necessarily hide the evidence, those of us who have, a busted lip or a black eye or something like that have been called out. The others, I think, got away with it.
Nice. So we'll say it's you, Lieutenant Roundin, and I think Lieutenant Soul, Lieutenant Rella Soul. So did Soul come in on your side of this, Rev, or do you think she came in on Romnan's side and the two of them were pitted against you in the middle of that fracas?
So I'm not sure that Rev's point is there's not really a side. It was just letting loose. I think that Soul thinks she was on my side.
Nice.
Right. But Rev is like, oh, I'm sure you were just letting off steam.
Yeah, Soul thinks Soul thinks Romnan got too mouthy and disrespectful, and so she had your back, but it didn't misunderstood the whole what you needed. Got it. So the three of you are standing at attention. She's got like just a trickle of blood coming out of her nose, and I think you'd said that Romnan has a busted eye, like it's busted lip. Okay, so yeah, he's got that split lip thing going on, and then you had a bruised, like Rev has a bruised eye.
Yeah.
Cool. And so the three of you are being forced to stand at attention, and just for the mirror of it, I think it's on that same deck in the hangar, same like screen and everything. And the CAG is, she just marches back and forth telling you guys about your duty and how disappointed she is, and then she does the thing that you saw coming a mile away. It's the oldest trick in the book when she says, all right, here's what I require of the three of you. Let me know who it is that started the fight, and then we'll conclude our business here. And then there's a long pause as Soul, Romnan, and you have that decision to make of, are you going to fall on the sword and say it was you? Are you going to rat out someone else? Or are you going to say nothing? And I'm curious, Rev, what do you do?
I think Rev looks at the other two, and there's this long moment. And I think we see kind of this look of panic in Romnan's eyes as he's like, she's gonna rat me out. And
of course he thinks you are.
Yeah. And Rev steps forward and says, it's my fault. I'm responsible. I should take the consequences.
And I think there's a moment when you started to step forward that Soul like had taken a half step, but when you step forward, she stops and looks at you with surprise. And Romnan, he grimaces because he knows this is coming. Like you're gonna sell him out, and then you don't, and his eyes just widen. And the two of them are just looking at you for just a flicker of a moment. You can feel your peripheral vision because you were in the middle, right? Because you're the star and they're, co-star kind of deals. In your peripheral vision, you could see both of them looking at you with completely different motivations for their expression of surprise. And the CAG says, Romnan, Saul, you're dismissed. And they turn on a heel and walk out, and the CAG says, Rev, walk with me.
And I fall in line just behind to her side.
She clasps her hands in Imperial officer style behind her back and walks. And she walks in front of where the ties are currently like hanging down from the hangar, ready for you guys to climb in and take off. I realize I overextended by giving you the medal. Too much pressure. More than you were ready to take. I misjudged you.
I understand. I think it's important. I think the continuation of the tradition, the medal was important for the rest of the crew to hear. And I'm going to do better in order to live up to your expectations.
She stops and turns on a heel, like very military, ramrod straight. And she looks at you and she meets your eyes, and there's this like aura of command that she carries very well. And she says, "You had better, Rev. Because if you embarrass me, I will send you into a no-win situation. And you will do the Empire proud. And I will rid myself of what I thought was an asset. It turned out to be an embarrassment. Do you understand?"
I do. Thank you for giving me a chance.
Live up to that medal and not disappoint me again. Dismissed.
And I think Rev kind of jogs away, turns around, nods her head, turns around, and then goes away at a jog.
Cool. And you get out of the hangar. And of course, there's a point where like there's hallways that split off and everything. And as you come through the hangar like doors that go into the main corridors, Soul steps out. She was just waiting. Not maybe she was eavesdropping, but it was so far away there was no way she heard what was going on, but she was waiting and she steps out. "Rev, Stars, are you okay? I can't believe you did that."
It was the right thing to do for the good of the cause. Please.
I almost did it too, and I thought it was the stupidest idea. I don't know what came over me and why I couldn't do it. But you did.
Well,
You're always a step ahead of me.
Don't kick yourself. Don't say anything to anyone else about this. We just got reprimanded. We'll move on and try to be better next time.
I don't know, Rev. Remnant doesn't take slights. I think he's going to be gunning for you.
As long as we're all gunning, I think it'll be fine. We'll have to make sure he falls in line.
And she kind of falls in to walk beside you, and you're walking down a hallway, and we have one of those like K2SO giant Imperial droids just walk past, and a little mouse droid zips past in front of you. And I heard that those rebels that you killed them all? Like,
They're not rebels, they're terrorists. Keep that in mind. And they tried their usual tactic of cowardice, and they got what they deserved. I mean, you saw what they did. They blew up one of our ships with civilians on board. They have no pity. They have no remorse.
I know. I know that life is over, but I just always wonder if the Emperor hadn't dissolved the Senate, maybe things wouldn't have gone so badly.
You should keep those things to yourself. That kind of thought leads to decisions that are poorly made. You have to remember that while some of us have suffered, the vast majority of the galaxy has been freed and can live their best life because of the decisions that were made by the Emperor. So,
of course, yes. I'm sorry. I just Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Those kinds of things shouldn't really be spoken out loud. And if you think about them again, talk to me and I can show you how the insurrectionists, the terrorists, have brought war to the galaxy. You hear?
Yes, of course, Rev. I'm headed to the cafeteria if you want to grab a bite to eat or something. I don't know if you're going to be sick. Your eyes look a little. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I think I'm going to go to the gym and work out.
Okay, maybe I'll catch up with you later. And she
Sounds good.
jogs off.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we get to have that wonderful breaking point. You know, it goes into your permanent record, Rev. The CAG has already written bad things about what you did and your dangers and does anyone have who hasn't gone in a while? Who's got an idea? Oh yeah, XP for the breaking point. Thank you, Sawyer. XP to Sawyer because you're always helping us. I really appreciate that.
I know I'd like to visit Odek on the Star Galleon.
The younger Odick? Wait,
No, not Obak. Odek,
yeah,
the Rhodian.
I just realized we have four names that are really, really similar, and I may need to change one because we have Odak,
we can definitely change
Okma,
Odek.
we have Obak, senior Obak junior. Yeah, let's change Odak if that's okay.
Yeah, no, not a problem. I'll pull one up right now.
Thank you. I will forever screw that up if we don't.
How about Frit?
Oh, that is
Frit-
so common. I love it.
Okay.
That is not a viceroy's name. I love it.
Frit Tetsu.
Perfect. That's way cooler. That's a very good name. Sweet. So you, Tagashia, we don't even know how you made your way to.
I assume that there's like a shuttle service.
Yeah, shuttles to go back and forth when you guys aren't in hyperspace type deal.
Right.
Maybe it's the thing where you hop out of hyperspace and just as like an overall, you guys arrive in. We'll do the thing of like everybody pops out of hyperspace and we see this little written down thing for the TV audience that says that you're in the Kurnock cluster. I'll drop that in chat in case you care. If you don't care, that's fine too. It's just Star Wars nerdery. And then we see a little shuttle following Tagashia, and it's one of those where we CG in the Tagashia in the visible through the window of the shuttle, and then next cut is Star Wipe, and you're walking in to see the Viceroy, right? Fritetsu.
Yes. Viceroy.
Why are you here?
The rekindlers are moving again. And she'll like slide the little cloning vat information over.
And we see the long
Little suction cup hands.
little suction cup hands pick that up. I love that little factoid about the Rhodians. It's so weird. It's awesome. He picks it up and then it kind of disappears into his long cloak and robes and everything. Like you usually just see his head. I'm imagining that he's the kind of person that seems very reserved. And how imminent is the threat?
Which one?
Speak plainly.
I don't know how quickly will she be reconstituted in the cloning vat.
That's a great question. I think Marwin should help us.
Yeah.
I think it depends. If they're trying to make a perfect version of her, probably a while.
We'll
I
say
would imagine
perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will take some time, but we must act quickly on the clone. I've been approached by Ganzen. They would have me work and take out an ISB agent, Madar.
No. You will not do that.
Hmm.
Madar is not to be killed.
Have reported Madar so that I may get closer to the commander.
Do you believe that Ganson would want access to create more clones of himself in exchange for keeping them off from returning?
Hmm. That I do not know.
Well, if you're in contact with Marwin, you may want to let it slip that not all of his data files on his sequences have been destroyed.
Hmm. You know how I feel about the cloning.
I do. Ganson is a gadfly compared to his grandmother.
Madar will not take kindly to my reporting them.
Well, perhaps you shouldn't have done it. You are a tool to be used by me. I will protect you, my tool. But you must stay in the workshop. Do you understand?
We're no longer collaborators on this project.
It seems that I now need to save your Shebs, so are we collaborating? Or am I saving you? We have the same goal. I appreciate your talents, but I worry about your decision making.
Hmm. I'm beginning to worry about yours offering more cloning to the monstrosity that is Ganson.
That's a good point. You've got him there, and I think he betrays a little bit of his either. Oh, you know what? Yeah, are you trying to like push on him to get a little bit of information?
I think I want to pull strings a little bit on the faction there. You know, do not let this crusade of yours, Frit, this crusade of yours for finding somewhere to hide, get in the way of the real mission. And I think I'm trying to get, oh boy, what are my options here? Yeah, I think I'm going to take. Well, I have to roll. But well, let's see. Let's see how the roll goes. I do get a +1 for it, and that's TT. I don't know if y'all can hear her. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
cute.
That's a
Hey, it's
9.
not. It's a not fail.
And I can actually, I can spend a pressure, which I want to do.
That's
To
probably a
boost
good
that.
choice.
So on a hit, I think I have access to everything I want. Getting help in the future is nice, but kind of nebulous. I'm curious what I could do with change people's behavior. Besides make my cat not eat something stupid. Hold on one second.
It's just not fair how little pressure you have to spend there, Marwin.
I mean, I could sort of. What would it look like to like turn the because I imagine that there's probably just like a low level antagonism, but I kind of want there to be more civilian military tension. Oh, maybe I'm asking like Frit and the rest of the council to sort of step up and demand that the commander, move us more out of the firing line here. Because if we're gonna get this, if we're too engaged with the rebellion and the quote unquote new republic, we're not going to be able to accomplish our goals. You must do your side of this bargain, Frit. You must push us away from these dangerous territories we keep jumping into. This war is a losing battle. We've already lost 2 ships, more than a dozen lives. The constant distractions are emboldening the final legion.
We will remain within the fleet, as it is our best protection. But I cannot disagree with your assertion that we've been placed too close to danger. I'll speak with Price.
Good. Takashio will end the conversation there.
Good. That's delightful. That's a good positive working relationship that won't come back to bite you. Good stuff. Sweet. I'd love to have like a 2 PC scene. I want to have idea, motivation, spark, or
I do need to blackmail someone
oh, that's true.
if Jane is amenable to that.
Yeah, I have an idea for a scene for Jaina, and I'd like to know. I'd like to fit Marwin into this. I think, especially given last episode. So, I guess the sort of higher level pitch is we need to bring this threat thing back in, right? That I set up. And I kind of imagine a scene of like. I loved in Battlestar whenever like Gaius had to get into like something that he was so like clearly not a good fit for. So I mean I think a scene where Jaina is like in the like in the vents or underneath the floor of the corridor trying to like defuse these like toxin canisters that are under like maybe like a conference room or something. And I mean, since so I have to look back at the sleeper agent move. Since I discovered warning signs, I'm wondering if this scene can sort of start with me having successfully done that. And then as I'm leaving from here, I run into Marwin. Or should there be a roll for seeing if I can
I kind of
successfully
like
do
to
that?
see if you pull it off. Let's
But
what
it would be
is the
shake
right-
off probably, right?
Yeah, probably shake off a threat. Yeah, that's a weird phrase for like act under fire. But yeah, let's have
Yeah.
you shake off the threat to finish this up. Just to, God, I want the dice to help us decide how
Yeah.
that goes.
So that's plus hard, which is a 0 for me. And that's a 7. Oh
From
boy.
7 to 9,
Okay.
the GM gets choices. You'd have to burn 3 pressure. Do you even have 3 pressure?
Probably not. No, I do
No,
not.
you do not. All right. So 7 to 9 means the GM chooses out of the frying pan into the fire. You don't escape unscathed. You lose or use up something in the process. The threat intensifies, escalates, or targets someone else.
I would also like to remind you before you figure this out that I am doing this with a broken arm. I kind of forgot about my broken arm. So yeah, I'm like
that's
one-handed trying to.
You haven't gone to see a Okma didn't even notice. Boy, she's a bad lover. Dang it.
Well, I think maybe I would like had like my jacket kind of draped over it or something. So it just sort of looked like I was, standing in a not an like Imperials probably stand in similar postures all the time.
You're hiding it. I got it.
Yeah.
So she's not okay. She is still terrible. So and there's no harm track in this game. It's just pressure,
Mm.
which is fascinating. Cool. I think I'm gonna go with you don't escape unscathed.
Mm.
And the unscathed is that you finish up like you're in a conference room. There's like one of those huge tables, just like oh yeah. So we'll say that it's a table. If you remember the gigantic conference table that all the Moss are standing at when
Mhm.
Darth Vader was told, old religion, all that good stuff. And you found the toxins, you dismantle it or make it inert, and you get up, your arm is aching, you're in a great deal of pain, but you finally done this. You're able to, there's no widespread consequences, your other sleeper agent result, but you see that there is a little Imperial like cam droid that had hovered into the room, and that's how you don't escape unscathed. And then the droid just turns and starts to float out. And
I expect me trying to run after it is probably when I would run into Marwin.
exactly, you're chasing after it, and then that's when you run into Marwin in the hallway. Marwin, a very like flushed Jaina Madar, comes out into the hallway from one of the conference rooms and nearly runs you over.
Oh, are you in such a rush you can't even say hello?
Oh, excuse me, Marwin. I am in fact in a rush. Official ISB business. And even
The
though she's saying she's
drone
in a
is-
rush, she has actually stopped.
Yeah, and I think it looks after like the drone. The drone is ISB business.
Oh, absolutely. Our machinations are often quite mysterious.
Mysterious is definitely a term I would use for you, but is there a way to get the droid that Marwin can like grab it or command it to come over?
Oh, you can command it to come over.
Yeah. He'll do. I think he's like he's holding on to it. He's not letting it go.
Mhm. Is it kind of like squirming and sort of trying to?
Yeah, he'll place his hand over the camera. So what would you give for this droid?
What do you want?
Compliance, mostly.
Compliance with you? You want me to be what, your pawn, Marwin? This is humorous.
No,
Don't forget that I
you-
outrank you.
Of course you outrank me. That's why you could never be a pawn. You're at least a rook, maybe a bishop.
Don't forget what I have on you.
Yes, but my friend has something bigger on you. And I want to know, should I care? Or should I be worried about you? I mean, as I say, my visions are so rarely wrong. And to have seen you stand at the head of the fleet, that has to mean something. You have to mean something. More than
Trust,
just a pawn for Obok.
trust, Marwin. I have no interest in standing at the head of this fleet.
That's a shame. Would you even what would you do if promotion was offered in the ISB then?
She's kind of at a loss for words for a moment, and I mean, if it was offered, it'd be rude to turn it down.
It would. And I think he looks around and sort of, it's not a flaw to be Obok's pawn. It's kind of to be accepted when you know that man. He treats everyone like he's some kind of chess master. But it's better to be in the hands of a chess master than a novice.
I don't know how this would be like conveyed on screen, but I really am amused by the idea that that Jaina and Ganzen are like Jaina's thinking about the wrong Obok or something. So maybe not taking this as seriously as she actually should. Nice. I like it. I have friends. I don't need any new ones, especially ones that would leverage that friendship in such a way that isn't very friendly at all.
Okay, then. But when it comes time that you have to pay for what you've done, remember that the friendship is still offered.
I will take that into account. Marwin, you've been very transparent with me. I'll be transparent with you. The drone, it's not ISB business. It captured some other kind of footage that I wouldn't want to see out. Some, how do you say, some fraternizing that perhaps would not be good for myself or the other person involved. So I am trying to cover up, and with closed ranks, I have a circle of NPC friends and associates who attribute my suspicious behavior to my quirk, which is affairs. Oh, this is when I ask one of them to cover up for you. That doesn't work. But I guess I'm still trying to cover up.
Yeah, I think you are.
Just don't get to use the special cool thing. So I roll plus smooth. That's a 6. I will spend a pressure.
Wait a second. I think
Oh, I
I'm-
can't. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
But let me
I can wait helplessly.
wait a second. I can support
Oh,
you.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, yay, Marwin's gonna
Oh.
support you.
Yes, and this will push me to my breaking point, which is even
Oh.
better.
Holy crap, is this your first breaking point for Marwin?
It is.
Awesome. Welcome to the club.
So I will mark my breaking point or I'll mark pressure and roll warm to support you. And I get a bonus no matter what I get, even on a miss, thanks to Wingman.
Oh, that's great.
Oh no, that's a 12. So
Holy
I
cats and
can
kittens.
get 3 choices. So I will boost your roll by 1.
Okay.
Let me check the move. I will oh, who would you want me to create a problem for?
I mean, Tagashia, probably.
Actually, I think I will create an opportunity for you that
Okay.
that you will somehow like Tagashia has to like speak to you or something before
Mhm.
like maybe even has to like tell you that what I requested before I changed. And
Oh.
actually I think and I will and I guess I'll with the other choice I'll redirect a negative impact of the move onto someone else. I think like Marwin pulls out some kind of little tool he has with the droid and just erases what it's caught up until the like the thing it saw before it caught Jaina's indiscretions.
Dang,
And
Jaina, look at
like
you.
and then like have it report on whatever it caught before that to redirect it onto whoever was seen last before Jaina.
This is maybe too big of a coincidence, but could that somehow be Okma had been in this conference?
Oh, it could maybe it
Oh,
was like maybe it
God.
followed her, like it was following her and then went after you or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I had to wait outside the conference room, sort of in the shadows, for her to leave, and then I went in after that. And yeah, if that works for you, Rich.
Sure, that works for me. Such a shame. We all
Okay.
liked Okma, you know.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
So Rich, you get to choose on a 7 and 9 for cover up.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. Let me take a look at my choices. But only fooled temporarily. You must give concrete assurance. Someone realizes you're up to something, and it won't be the last you hear of this. Yeah, I think we're able to redirect this to Okma, but Okma is aware that you're involved somehow. Complicates the relationship. Dang, she's getting pushed hard by you. You were trying to keep her quiet because she had her suspicions. That's not good. Cool.
Well, before I forget, I reached out with Okma, right? Or was I trying? Yeah. So I actually I still increase my relationship with her, right? I didn't do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Or my pen died, so I was trying to grab another pen. Cool. Yeah. Okma is going to get fingered for whatever you were doing in the conference room. That's not going to go well for her. Excuse me. Yeah. We'll say that you recognize Some of the markings on the designation on this little Imperial probe droid camera, it is one that has been deployed by Lieutenant Commander Emil Shobus, your boss.
Real quick too, I'd like to point out that the option I didn't choose on Sleeper Agent was you haven't left any telltale evidence that someone else might discover. So maybe that's part of how, Okma is seen in the conference room. They go and there's still these now diffused, but these canisters in there.
Yeah, but the telltale evidence has now been redirected towards Okma. Damn.
There's still something fictionally that needs to be resolved here, right? Between Marwin and Jaina. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Greg.
Well, I think Marwin's going to set up some situation where Jaina and Togashi are together.
Yeah, I think like when he finishes working on the machine, he'll I think you should report to Togashi. I did tell her that it might behoove her to kill you, and I've changed my mind. You should be the one to let her know. I do apologize.
You're if this were not
Wow.
Star Wars, if this were not Star Wars, I'd be like, stay classy, Marwin. Thank you, Marwin. I appreciate your honesty, as always. And just walks away.
She lies as easily to herself as she does to me. It'll be good. I think he just walks off in the other direction.
I want to Rev scene. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering if Rev was actually the pilot on the shuttle back.
Fun.
Like maybe that that's one of the digs that they got at you for your insubordination, that you're this Imperial fist pilot, but you have to fly the shuttle.
They gave me just regular duty.
Yeah. Straighten up, fly straight.
That's rough.
Rev, what happened?
I strayed from my mission and someone put me back in line.
Yep. I think that makes two of us then, huh?
Oh, really? I'm glad to hear that you understand.
Settles down in is it just the two of us on the shuttle?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to do this, but I'm kind of imagining it's not a full-on Lambda class, but a much smaller shuttle, almost like a Star Trek roundabout sized. That's why I hate to do this, is that I'm pulling in some Star Trek Ken into that.
But I'm sure there's some smaller Imperial shuttle. Rev, having a hard time reading the situation these days. I used to think I had a good handle on things. But with the Empire, well, I wouldn't say gone. It's getting harder to tell.
Of course the Empire's not gone. Not while we're still around. We'll build it back. We'll build it back better.
Right, of course. It's just all this, I don't know. It seems like we're more at each other's throats now than the rebels.
And she kind of grins and points to her eye, to her blackened eye, and says, "Thus the lessons."
I think I'm to some degree, I think I might be reaching out here.
Is this
but
because
it has to be a significant failure?
Well, are you concerned that the Empire's doomed to fail?
Yeah, I think I might be. admitting that to Rev. Yeah, Rev, it's, you know, before the fall of the Death Star, it was simpler. Now, I mean, we both see it, right? Going from here, and she gestures back towards the Star Galleon, to here, and she gestures towards Pandora's Grasp. It's like we're not even the same empire anymore.
It's true, we're not the same empire, but we have to keep the faith that we can help others throughout the galaxy. If we don't, we don't keep the faith, then I think we're already doomed. You're with me, aren't you? I mean, we can together, right? And I think she kind of holds up that fist like we did earlier. But
Yeah.
I think if you don't mind, you leave me kind of hanging.
You're not.
I need
when
to
you
see
talk
some
about-
dice reaching out.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
When you say faith, Rev, you're not talking about like the Rekindler's faith, right?
No. Talking about faith in the Empire. Faith that we can still do good.
Let's see what we do. That's responding positively.
Yeah,
oh, wait,
for sure.
I don't have a +1 modifier on this. I am rolling flat, correct? Right, it's warp. Yeah. Okay. Why can't we do this? Why can't we do this?
Awesome. Is this a cardinal? I think this is a cardinal. So
It is a cardinal move. You can't push it.
Awesome.
And it's
Others can
4,
wait helplessly.
a 4 is low enough. I can't help.
Yep.
So
Oh,
Okay. So it's a fail.
it's a fail.
Awesome. Two of you sharing your concerns, talking about the rekindlers. Degashia reaching out, Rev accepting it. And then all of a sudden you hear weep, 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 weep. And there are several buttons flashing on the console, Rev, and your engines fire and then wink out. And you see that the pressure and life support is starting to fail in the shuttle. She's drifting. Comms have gone out too. In fact, the whole power just dies.
I think there's this moment of silence where, we just hear the silence of space.
What do you do?
I think I curse, Shebs, and I hop up and I start, while everything's off, there's no power anywhere. I think I hop up and I pull up one of the plates, that's in the floor. And I start, digging around at stuff. And I'm like, I think there's a handle that you have to pump and different things like that. And I want to try and get it going again. Or at least see what's wrong.
Sweet. You pull up that panel and
Yeah.
you want to see what's wrong. Let's have you just to set the tone, shake it off. You're trying to shake off a threat. Roll plus hard.
Okay. That's a 6. I will spend pressure.
I can also wait helplessly, which would give you a +1.
It would.
Does that feel more thematic, or do you want to raise your pressure?
I guess it depends on, do you want to,
That's too pressure.
what do you want to actively do? Do you want to,
No, that's
would
wait
Degashia
helplessly.
do
You
something?
can't. No, wait helpless means Degashia is not doing anything to help.
All right. So that's the question.
Yeah, or I could support, or I could, yeah.
I'm fine with pushing pressure. It just depends on what your character would do.
Yeah, I think this isn't Tagashia's element. She's a soldier, not a fighter pilot. Not, she doesn't know what to do. She kind of panics. This is just like when all of the air shot out of the barracks, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a bit of like of just like a and what she's doing is she's not helping. She's fumbling around trying to find the breather masks that are supposed to be in it. So she's like tossing the supplies, she's tossing every cabinet and just getting in the way, really. So I'll wait helplessly, mark pressure.
Nice. You're marking 2 pressure, by the way, to get that +1.
I have to mark
Okay.
2 pressure for that.
That's what it says. That's why I was like, really?
Oh, that pushes me to a breaking point. That's even better.
Oh my gosh, guys. The BPC has many members. Okay.
I think breaking points are the only way we get to reduce pressure.
This seems like it for you guys. Yeah. Wow, this is a death spiral kind of game. Awesome. You shake off a threat. On a hit, you've shaken it off, but on a 7 to 9, the GM chooses out of the frying pan into the fire. You don't escape unscathed. You lose or use up something in the process. And I think what you do is you pull that panel, Rev, while Dagashia is starting to freak out a little bit. And there's a pump, you've got to work for. You see that there's a little like motherboard type thing, and that's when you see it. It's fried. Underneath the deck plates is a crawl space, and you see there's a little mouse droid that just zips away. What do you do?
So I think, and the crawl space is really small. It's
I mean,
something that
something somebody can get into with effort, right? Otherwise, it's not a crawl space.
And I think that I turn around. Would Tagashia have a weapon on her somewhere?
Always.
Yeah. So I think I turn around. You're pulling out looking for masks, and I grab your pistol, and I then slink underneath, and I'm going after that mouse droid.
Nice. Yeah. You're engaging in battle.
Okay, so let's see. Let me roll that. Oh, I rolled snake eyes. How badly do I want this to work?
God, that is terrible.
Yeah. So I've got a 3. I'd have to stem up and roll 4 more and take 4 pressure to do it. I think I'm gonna let it just fail. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Sweet. You fire, if you done blah, 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 you hit inside with the blaster, like you fire a few times, the mouse droid like zips around a little piece of the corridor out of the way, and then and then the next thing, Rev Dagashia, is you hear like as oxygen starts very quickly escaping your area, and you can feel that pressure. It's like a pinprick, but yeah, you're going to lose oxygen very, very, very soon. What do you do?
And I think I'm kind of inching down, and I look around the corner where the mouse droid kind of ran off, and I think I take a deep breath and kind of hold it in, and I can see this like kind of a distortion in the air where that pinprick is. You can see that warp as it's kind of sucking out the oxygen.
Tagashia is I'm gonna do a breaking point here. I'm gonna put myself or others, we're gonna do both, in immediate danger through foolish, rash, stubborn, or negligent behavior. What I kind of want to do is just like Tagashia like can't find the breath mask and she's freaking out. So she like pops open another one of like the engineering things and she's just gonna like short circuit power to the hyperdrive and hit it. Like just get out. And like probably this like wild jump us
That's
to
insane.
or I mean, I'm trying to think of something that would like really because that doesn't really solve like the oxygen thing.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Open one of the ports, like, jam the power together and hit something so it vents part of it into space, trying to get rid of the droid that's in there. But it puts us
Oh,
both in danger.
yeah.
That's
It's
pretty
the
dope.
equivalent of opening the door in the airplane, right?
Right. Yeah, okay. So she'll do that to try and get the mouse droid out.
Sweet. It works. Mouse droid flies out into space. And now the oxygen is going, it's getting cold. This place is starting to depressurize, and that's pretty bad. We're going to cut away from the two of you to which one of the two of you is watching this, Marwan or Jaina? From the safety of Pandora's grasp.
I sort of feel like it's more interesting if it's Marwin. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so Marwan, you are watching as the shuttle comes, and I'm not sure if you know this is Tagashia coming back from the Star Galleon, or if you know Rev is piloting it, but you see that shuttle just kind of drift off for a little bit, floats inert. See the little poof of air at one point, and a little, see the tiniest against the inky black of space, this little baby sized tiny mouse droid float out of it. What do you do?
I think I'll have to report this. I mean, there's a ship in danger.
Cool. So you call it in. You're going to pull some strings to have something done about it?
Yes, I might have to. Let's see about that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go to seeing as I can roll this relationship and an additional +1 if I do it to a rekindler.
Ooh, smart.
I will go to my apparent sugar friend, Obok Vandar II.
Nice.
So yeah, let me roll this with a rare +2, which might actually get us something.
Let's not talk it up too much.
Yeah, let's not. Oh, that's a
Cool.
12.
Man. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is a heck of a pull strings. So on a hit, you gain help with a specific task. Odars. Oh my, oh boy, it seems someone's neglected their duty. Have it taken care of right away. And then from the command, you'll have the tractor beam like grab the shuttle and very quickly pull it in. And so Tagashia, Rev, the two of you are losing oxygen, and there's ice formed along the deck plates when you feel that from the tractor beam pulling the shuttle. And then you're deposited on the same hangar bay floor where Rev received an award and a dressing down, because I like reusing sets. Yeah, that's pretty great.
And I think that so Rev is actually kind of looking out, and is losing consciousness, and we see that little tunnel vision thing happen. And as it closes out, the last thing we see is that, set with the hangar bay where everything was.
Nice. There's there
The droid. The droid.
engineers like pry the thing open and they're coming in. There's a med person coming in to check you guys out. And yeah, I think that's pretty great. Marwan, you hear from Ode. Turns out that one of our friends was on board.
Good. I'm glad they're safe.
Just an Imperial damn hero.
Wonder how it got so bad to begin with. That entire thing seemed so odd.
Indeed. So very odd. Ah, your prescient abilities have saved someone else.
And can Marwin go down to greet the survivors?
Sure. Yeah, maybe the two of you are in a. I kind of like the idea of the two of you in the med bay.
Yeah. And oh god, I have a breaking point that I may have to trigger now.
Oh no. God, two? Wait, no, you had one queued up, right? Yeah, you had one
Yeah, I
queued
have one queued up. So let me check my breaking points particularly to see which one seems apt for this. Oh no, don't need to publicly oh, I may I think I may take foolish action, which with putting myself or others in danger without consulting anyone else. And I think all it is he walks in, he sees Rev on the medical, and he notices the black eye, and like the first thing he says, like, "Oh, did you get bumped up with the tractor beam?"
I got bumped up. Yes. The
In
eye
the
was from before.
By whom?
It was a lesson that I learned. Let's just put it that way.
By whom?
One of the other pilots, and I made sure that they also paid. Are we good?
You are perfectly fine. I will make sure that they've paid on my end as well.
We know there's no need to do that. But if you feel like it's necessary.
It'll always be necessary. And I think he's like walking away, pulling up the records, like the video of the fight to see who it was and everything, to go and indulge in a bit of violence of some kind.
Oh my. So I guess it's going to be Romnan you would blame? Sweet.
Yep.
I think you would probably find Romnan. What? Do you think he's a gym rat? Do we think he's a studier? Like he's gone to study some tactics and the like so he can always stay ahead of the game? Do you think he's, what else would he be doing? Well, maybe he's just actually performing his duty. He's doing some maintenance.
Oh, so he's working on a ship.
Yeah, he's working on his tie.
Yeah, I'll go over there, like pick up this big, bulky machining tool. Like, oh, I've never had to do work on one of these machines myself. What's this one used for?
It's a Hydra spanner.
Could you come out here and show me how to use it? Or show me what it's used for?
Does this like such a waste of my time. hops down from the cockpit area, walks over.
I smack him in the face with it.
Damn. uh yeah, that is a thing. I don't know. That doesn't seem like it's engaged in battle. I
It
think
it
it's a,
may be letting loose.
yeah, it could be letting loose. It could be a thing where you just now have to weather serious harm, but I don't think you
Yeah,
do
either of
serious
those
harm.
is fine.
I like let loose. Let's go with let loose. For some reason, our base needs for 2 different characters who've been beating someone up.
Apparently. And if this is like anything else, it's gonna go poorly for me, which I'm fine for. Oh, that is a 6. If only someone could be by and wait helplessly while I did this. Oh well.
I can potentially wait helplessly. And I think this is me back in the med bay, you know, itching to get out and see some action, but not being able to.
Nice.
That is fair. So I got a 7 on this.
Nice. So your 7 to 9, you choose. The GM decides the details. They'll make it something you'll immediately regret.
Yeah, it makes sense that I anger alienate someone that matters to me. Or, but I mean, it's your choice. So,
Who matters to you?
oh shit.
I'm really curious about that.
I think it might be Rev because this breaking point is putting this back on like, you know, this my actions have to have consequences to me. And I think, or like has to have consequences to someone. I mean, this is obviously a slight the pilots that got in a fight are, but maybe this comes back if the pilots start beginning to be more negative towards Rev, which makes Rev be more negative towards Marwin because of this reaction. If that's okay.
Yeah. So I think what happens is you thwack him upside the head, break his jaw. The cut is severe, and he drops to the ground. Before you know it, there are people pulling you back before you make things a lot worse. And I think the relationship is damaged because Rev, you find out now it's all throughout the squadron that Marwin's fighting your battles for you.
That I can't take care of myself,
Can't
and
take care of yourself.
yeah, and that, you know, the upper echelons people have to take care of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you failed to ferry somebody back in just a simple shuttle too. Give you this hand of the Emperor, and you just can't handle the pressure.
Yep.
Just makes it worse. Yeah, so that damages that relationship. Dang.
We actually adjust relationships for that.
Let's see. It does reduce an appropriate relationship. That's what you chose on the 7 to 9 option from Let Loose. So does that, just so
Should
and I
I
can go look it
reduce
up.
my relationship?
I think
with-
you reduce your relationship because it makes you less effective in helping or interfering that person with that.
Gotcha. That makes sense. See, I have a much worse relationship with Lada now.
Sweet. Is there more? Do we have more?
I'd love a little med bay scene with Rev. Just to, I'm sorry. I panicked.
No worries. You did what you had to.
No, I cut and ran again. I cut and ran again.
You need to stabilize things and make sure that you don't panic in the face of battle, because you've seen enough battle. We need to make sure that you're still good and useful. The bigger concern is this was done deliberately. unintentionally and almost succeeded. Who would be after you?
It's the rebels. It's got to be the rebels. That would
How
be a
would-
cover up, I believe, at this point.
Yeah, I think you need to roll cover up. That is very roll plus smooth.
All right, hold on. That is I mean, is this also about my assassination?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I get +1 for that. I have to come up with some convincing bullshit. It's the I don't know, maybe I'm yeah, no, sorry.
To be honest, you could say just about anything, and Rev would believe the rebels are, of course, at fault.
Right. And I think that's just Tagashia knows that that's the angle she can take, right?
Yeah.
It's the rebels. Rev, I think you've seen my abilities. You know, I'm not just any normal recruit. I've done some things, and I think the rebels are coming after me. All right, so that's +1.
Roll plus smooth.
That's a 7.
Uh-huh.
Which on a 7 to 9, the GM chooses. On 10+, they buy your description as long as but yeah, okay.
Yeah. 7-9 GM chooses. Fooled temporarily. This is weird because it's like to a PC. Okay.
I'm okay with Steven choosing. That's fine with me too.
Yeah, Steven, which of these do you like?
So I think that so what I imagine in the story, and let's see if we can get any of this to fit, is that this would panic Rev, right? How could the rebels get access to our shuttles at this point? Is there anything that fits? Maybe it's the give concrete assurances and provide extra corroboration, which is, how could the rebel spies be here and get access to this stuff? Are they everywhere?
Ooh. Well, I mean, we sort of established that the war, like the rebels use the droids against us. It's one of their attack vectors. So, I've got some in with it was Corporal Farina who let me into the cloning bats, right?
It was Corporal Saul Farina, Cult of the Quartermasters let you out.
So I don't think you need to pick the concrete assurance right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, going forward and say, oh, here's how the rebels were able to accomplish this, if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'll just, I think there's engineers who aren't totally on our side, Rev. I think they might be twisting the droids against us.
No. Someone else, one of the other pilots, Soul, suggested that maybe things were better without the Empire. Maybe we have more concerns than I originally thought. Oh, I can't believe that one of us would do such a thing.
The evidence is out there floating. Or did they bring the mouse droid back in, or did they leave it out there?
No one
cares about the mouse droid. Yeah.
No one has mentioned the mouse droid. No one went after the mouse droid. So, yeah.
And I think this is where we see a lot of the impatience come from Rev, where she's like, I could get it. If I could just get out of this stupid med bay, I could go get it. And just starts pacing back and forth, waiting for someone to let her out.
Nice.
I like that. I think that's a cutscene. Cool. Looking at time. I think I'd like to have a Ender type scene with Jaina. You have been summoned to meet with your boss, Lieutenant Commander. How would you say that name? And I sent you on the E for Emile. Emilier?
Isn't Bolt under Bolt? It says that Bolt is the boss of Jaina Madar.
Durr. God bless America. Sorry. So Lieutenant Commander, yeah, he's the Bolt. Bolt is the boss. So yeah, Lieutenant Commander Bolt has summoned you to his office, and it's whereas everything in Obok Vandar the Second's office is like this pristine white, his is all this gunmetal gray. And he's seated at this little desk, but you know that the desk will slide into the wall type thing. Everything's very efficient. It's very Spartan, and he has a little computer terminal there. You come in, he shuts the door, he looks up at you. When are you going to seek treatment for that arm?
Would this be an appropriate situation where Jaina would salute?
I don't think he likes to be saluted to.
Okay. So yeah. I've just been very busy. We've been reviewing a lot, as you know, we've been reviewing a lot of information of candidates for re-education. There's one I've been looking at particular. I just haven't had time, but you're right. I should go get treatment. Thank you,
Makes you
Lieutenant Commander.
appear weak. Fallible. The ISB is not weak nor fallible.
May I suggest, Commander, that it causes people to let their guard down around me?
If it were a lie, perhaps. If it were one that you used. But you are weak. You are broken. Have it fixed.
Of course, Commander.
Someone's reported Lieutenant Rella Saul for seditious thoughts.
That's quite interesting, Commander. That's actually who I had in mind, who I was talking about just now. That's not the case. That's not who she initially was going to go in here with, but she's seizing this opportunity.
Nice.
Which maybe is a cover up, but I feel like it's not quite high enough stakes
Yeah,
yet.
that's fine. He says, I see. So you're coming in here to tell me what I already know.
Yes, I'm sorry, Commander. I didn't.
Coming in here broken to tell me what I already know. Jaina Madar, your utility is shrinking. Tell me more about your relationship with Okma. How do we use this to our advantage?
I should have. I guess I never should have thought that there'd be information that you weren't privy to. I apologize, Commander. Okma and I are close in a manner of speaking. I don't trust her, nor does she trust me, but I think that she can be leveraged.
And the two of you consummated your relationship.
Yes, Commander. Looks a little bit ashamed.
Wow. She seems to trust you after a fashion. That is a benefit to the ISB. Having Compnor, an ear with Compnor, is useful.
Yes,
I wouldn't
Commander.
say you've redeemed yourself, but you suddenly have a use for me. So, anything else, or investigating soul is the only reason you've come here?
It seems that this time the information has preceded me. I have nothing else, Commander.
Just once, Madar, I'd like to be surprised by something
course.
you know.
Of course, Commander. Thank you. I will incorporate that feedback.
Soul may be the tip of the spear. Find out what rebels she knows. We can take her down whenever we wish.
Of course.
She's foolish enough to lead us to a true threat. Then I'll
course,
be
Commander, yes.
impressed.
You will not be disappointed. May I excuse myself to the med bay?
You may.
Thank you, Commander. And Jaina walks out. And where so everybody is on Pandora's Grasp right now?
I think so. I think that's like our main set.
Okay. I would like to make my way as directly as possible to Gashia.
Cool.
Where would I find Tagashia?
On the med bay.
It's in the oh, so it works out perfectly. Yeah, so
exactly.
she's still there.
Rev,
Okay.
Rev is like pacing around, has not been released back. Sexy med bay.
Sexy. This isn't Star Trek. So I come in the med bay and see what's going on, and rather than going up and talking to the medic, I beeline it to Gashia and say, recruit, I need to speak with you privately immediately.
That will be difficult. I've been told I can't move from this breathing apparatus.
Everyone in this room who can leave needs to leave now.
Rev's excited. Like, I think she actually kind of limps out and, but makes her way to get out of this room. And then as she exits, you see this look of, like she's just figured something out and looks back, and then the door closes.
I think there's probably like the medic sort of is not leaving, and so Jaina pulls rank on the medic and says, "You too."
Ducks his head and heads out.
Tagashia, and speaking very quietly, very mindful of where the cameras in this room are. I learned something very disappointing about you. I suspect you know what that might be.
Why'd you try to have me killed?
That's not what happened.
Oh,
and I think Jaina actually has no idea what you're talking about right now.
right.
She's probably thinking of a different situation. Wait, the reason you're here, you think was me?
You're always messing with the droids at the ISB. I know what mouse droids are for. They're monitoring the ship hulls. One shows up on a ship, cuts the oxygen, blows the engines.
Briefly can see the gears turning in Jan's head. Well, clearly you made it out okay.
Can I call someone on their shit?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this move.
Okay.
I'm
So
really excited for this move.
okay, so yeah, Tagashia will just like lay into Jaina about like and I'm really hoping this fails. That like I think there's something like when you let the rebel go,
Mhm.
there was something that like Tagashia has seen before. You were in this like fugue state, right?
Mhm.
And so she's like, you're not in control. You're not with it all the time. You do things when you don't know that you do things.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Nice.
So I'm gonna roll plus hard.
Yeah.
Which I'm great at. 0. Here we go. Excellent. That's a 4, which I believe means you get to call me on my shit.
Well, that
or
makes
you can.
that makes sense. Okay, I'm just looking over that.
Right.
Okay. So it doesn't explicitly list anything for a miss.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
it
it
just
doesn't.
means- It doesn't. It's just
No.
it's just GM move. Wow. That's rough, man, you guys. Okay. Can we like end it right there? Is that cool? Because I'm looking at time and I realize
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
cool.
I
So
think
I'll
that
open
works. Yeah.
I'll open with hard move reaction to Gashia's accusing Jaina. And I think maybe there's a flicker of a moment where Jaina's realizes that Tagashia knows that truth, but of course you're still covering up. Sweet. So we'll bring the session to a close. Hard move at start.
Prepare for explosions next session.
Right. All right, let's quickly do a round of wishes and stars. We'll start with wishes so we can end with stars. Who'd like to go first with their wishes from the session?
So I was thinking about wishes. I'll start with that, but my wish was I wanted to see someone call on their shit. So I kind of got that right at the very end. I wanted to see that move go off. So
We didn't see it go off. We saw a miss.
true.
No, it's all good. I do think that's a neat move to engage with. Any other wishes, Stephen?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Who's next?
I can go. Mine's minor. Just to further, complicate things. Because I was looking at the droid, kind of pinged my memory. I was like, oh right, we agreed that like the droids attack us as part of the Rebel Alliance, and then I remembered that I would like to see the Hutt cartel. I think that might have something to do with the Viceroy side of things, but I'd just like to see that come up at some point.
Cool. Thank you, Greg. Jexor Sawyer.
Yeah. I also had really wanted to see call someone on their shit come up, so that was great. This is less a wish and more note for myself. I think immediate opportunity. Next session, I'm going to try to call Tagashia on her shit, which was actually my intention going into that scene. And I would really like to see. I would really like to see a little bit more of the quartermasters. I think. I mean, we've gotten some stuff with them, but I'd like to see their operations in action. Yeah, whatever that might look like.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we got to get some more faction level stuff overall going on, at least on screen. I agree. Sawyer.
Yeah, I just want to see more of the faction level play. That's it. Since we got to see someone call on their shit at the very end. Good clutch move.
You went last on wishes. You get to go first on stars. Sawyer, you have any to hand out?
Yeah, I liked everyone. I think Jax, you did a great job with like Jaina being like the enemy, but when it was like starting to gang up, you didn't like lose your cool. It didn't bleed over into character versus player kind of. So it was just you're playing the playbook very well, and I like the way that things are going, and just that entire stay classy Marwin thing was a great. Greg, I love seeing Tagashia's like paranoia coming out now, especially with all the things going on, and I feel bad that she's being pulled. And so, go kill this person. Wait, don't kill that person. Well, maybe kill that person. No, 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 no. I changed my mind again. And just not even being in the scenes, but seeing Rev in action is always fun. Getting into the fights and getting a mouse droid nearly took y'all out. That would have been so anticlimactic.
An ignominious end.
And thank you, Rich, for running. As usual, this is very fun.
So, Jex, do you have any stars?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I had fun this session. Yeah, my first star sort of to everyone who pointed a gun at me, right? Like I think that was just great, but also that folks knew when to kind of ease off from it also. So that was wonderful. I guess I'll just kind of keep it general. Everyone is doing such a good job of kind of playing their characters, playing their playbooks, making things interesting. This session went in completely wildly different directions than I would have expected at the start, and I love that. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to happen in a game. Rich, there are plenty of things I could give you stars for, but what I'd like to give you a star for today is your flawless Imperial accent.
Oh,
and,
thank you. I always worry about that.
It makes me quite happy.
Good. Thank you. I adore that, Jackson. Made my day. Greg, any stars that are left?
Boy, I hope that at some point Rev and Tagashia actually get to like bond and it actually works. Wouldn't that be nice? But I loved that we kept trying. We kept trying so many times. I loved the scene with Marwin when he pulled Tagashia aside, like, you need to kill this person. And then like, because my grandmother trusts you, and I'm like, yeah, no.
Oh, that was brilliant.
And then I'm glad that Jax, I love that you're okay with the sort of, I think we both took the gray area playbooks, and that's obviously going to be, us pointing other people at each other, which is I'm really enjoying it. It's a blast, and I love and it like finally culminating in that scene at the end is perfect. And then Rich, the scene that we had with you playing the Viceroy was great. I really enjoyed that. I can't wait to kill him because he's not doing something right.
Poor Rodian. That's good. Thank you so much. Greg, any left? Steven, any stars out there?
Yeah. So first of all, I really loved the scene with Jaina and her lover. That was so good. And there were many other scenes and things that I could give stars for, but I'll kind of cut it short. One thing I do want to call out is thank you very much, Greg. I think Greg checked in the lines and veils, and we had a line on eye damage. So if you don't mind, let's change that to like a bruise on the cheek or something like that. And the other star I have is to you, Rich, which is putting us in so much danger from a little mouse droid. I love that a little mouse droid could totally mess us up. I'm like, that is totally possible, totally within Star Wars, but it's real threatening because you see those little things everywhere. And from now on, it's like, oh, yeah, that could take you out.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm very glad that paid off. Awesome. This was wonderful. You guys are all playing very, very interesting and compelling characters, and I'm enjoying it a lot. It's hard being this mean and playing this many mean people. So thank you very much for making it fun. So I appreciate it. We'll go ahead and bring the recording to a close here, right about.
Thanks.
Thank you all.